Hi everybody, it's Deborah from PeopleLovingAnimals.com. Thanks so much for tuning in and watching today's video. Today's video is called 9 Tips to Find a Lost Cat. And first I want to say I'm sorry. I can't say that I know exactly what you're going through because fortunately for me, I have never actually had one of my cats get lost. But I do hope that the tips that we go over in today's video are going to help you to find your cat. And I'm also going to be hooking you up with an additional resource on ways that you can prevent your cat from getting lost in the future. So I hope so much that today's video helps you and results in you finding your cat. If you have not been here before, my name is Deborah. I own PeopleLovingAnimals.com and I do several videos a month all about the care and health and training of dogs and cats. So if you have a pet who you would like to have continuous help with, I invite you to go ahead and subscribe if you're not already. And please go ahead and share the channel with your friends and family who have a dog or a cat. They may appreciate this sort of content as well. And if the video is helpful for you, please go ahead and give it a like. It does really help YouTubers when you do that. Now, we are going to use this article on PeopleLovingAnimals.com called How to Find a Lost Cat to guide us through today's video. I'm going to give you a link to this article in the description box so that you can refer to it later if you want to. Now, like I said, I have never actually had one of my cats be lost, but several years ago, my tomcat Myron got out of the house in the middle of winter. Now, I live in Western New York, so the middle of winter is the middle of winter where an indoor cat should not be, okay? So he was lost for the whole day. But luckily at about 11 o'clock that night, he found his way back to the front door and scratched on the door. And thank God I heard him. Thank God I was still up. And I let him in and he was okay. So that's the closest I've ever had to actually losing cats. I did have a cat literally just leave. I don't feel like she got lost. I don't feel like she ran away from home or anything happened to her. The cat got out all the time. She did not want to be an indoor cat. And I think she just simply left. I don't feel like she was lost. I don't feel like she was hit by a car. But, you know, nonetheless, I was still brokenhearted, you know, when I didn't have her anymore. So I want you to just try to be positive if you can, and I'm going to give you a little bit of information during this video to kind of help you with comforting yourself, you know, for lack of a better way to say it. Now, we're going to go over 9 tips for finding a lost cat, and these are from cat health and training expert Mary Matthews. I hope so much that one of these or all of these will help. Tips for finding a lost cat. First of all, obviously walk around the area where the cat was lost and call the cat's name. Walk slowly and listen. Your cat may be too scared to come out of hiding, but may whimper, meow, or cry. If your cat just ran out the door of your home, leave your door open. He may just come back. You know, I don't know if you've been a cat owner for any length of time, you probably have a similar frustration that I do, that you can be looking all around the house for your cat. You're calling the cat, you're calling the cat, you're calling the cat, you're calling the cat. And all of a sudden you look down and there they sit on the dining room chair or something. And I always look at them and say, why didn't you say something? But the fact is they could be sitting right there and you're calling them, but they're not making a peep. So as you're walking around your yard or your neighborhood or wherever your cat got lost, you call the cat's name, but look everywhere that you can look, because they may be sitting somewhere and just not coming to you and not making a peep, right? The second tip is to make sounds that attract your cat. Shake a box of her treats or dry food, or even open up a can if that's something that your cat would normally like. If they're just out and they're not afraid, you know, if they're not like hiding, they may come to the sound of their treat bag or their dry food. Or I had a little cat named Miss Abigail, and she would come from miles away if I opened a can of tuna. And I always thought it was the funniest thing, because if I opened a can of tuna, the minute I opened the can, she would come running. If I opened a can of beets, nothing. So I don't know if the smell went so quickly. I don't know. But the cat would come running from whatever she was doing if I opened a can of tuna. So if you have any of those sorts of things that your cat really likes, go ahead and give it a try. Because if your cat is not scared and hiding, they may very well come to you for that, okay? The next tip is to search the neighborhood at night, preferably late. Include your old neighborhood if you have recently moved to a nearby place. Search hiding places like garbage cans or under porches, and ask your neighbors to be on the lookout for your cat. I have found, neighbors will help, especially neighbors who are also pet lovers. Don't you feel like that's true? That pet lovers, even if we're strangers, we tend to stick together. And if you have any other pet owners in your neighborhood and you say, I've lost my cat, chances are they may even get in their car and go drive around to try to find your cat. Do you know what I mean? I just think that pet owners in general stick together. So don't be afraid to tell all your neighbors your cat is missing, and to give your cell phone and say, please call me if you find the cat. Or if your cat is friendly, they may even be able to lure your cat into their house so that you can then come over and get the cat. But what I'm saying is tell people, okay? Also, put flyers all around your neighborhood or in the area where your cat was lost. Include a clear and large picture, a description of the cat's name. Also, mention where the cat was lost. Give your name and your phone number. And you may want to put those flyers inside a plastic bag, like a big freezer bag, before you staple them up around, because that way if it rains, the flyer is not ruined. Okay, so just go to the dollar store and get a box of those big freezer bags, and you could put it in there, and that would protect it from rain. And also, if there's any distinguishing marks on your cat, whether or not they have a collar, like you could say she was wearing a pink collar, or she has black and white spots like a cow, like something that would be specific where people would say, yeah, I think that's that cat that I saw on the flyer, right? If there's anything specific about your cat's appearance. Also, use your local newspaper. Check every day under the found cat. I have just a little free newspaper that comes to my house, and they have like a little pet section, and they'll have found dog, found cat, and they'll also have lost cats. So check every day to see if somebody might have placed an ad for your cat, that they may have found your cat, and obviously place the ad yourself if you can for your cat. Also, check with your local animal shelter, like your local SPCA, because usually animal shelters will let you fill out a lost cat form so that they're aware in case somebody brings your cat there. Okay, so you can go there and say, I lost my cat, fill out the form, and then people, if they find a lost cat, they may take them to the SPCA, so, that way they can notify you. But also, visit the shelter regularly and ask to look at the cats available for adoption, because sometimes the animal shelters are understaffed and they may not have time every time a cat comes in to go check all the lost cat forms and try to match them up. It might be overlooked. So tell them you've lost your cat, fill out the form so they have your contact information, but then go there and look at the cats up for adoption and just see if somebody may have brought your cat in, right? You might try placing some of your cat's favorite things in your yard or on your porch. Familiar smelling items such as t-shirts that you've worn and not washed, your cat's bed or their toys, some of its own food, some of its water, somewhere near your house if your cat ran out the front door. If your cat gets lost elsewhere, try placing similar items in a nearby location, then check that location often, preferably at night or early in the morning, to see if they're there eating their own food or drinking out of their own water dish, right? Also, check Facebook and Craigslist. In some areas, there are Facebook pages for lost animals. I live in Western New York, and we have a Facebook page called Western New York Lost and Found Pets. I give you the link. You can see what it looks like. There's probably Facebook groups in your area that advertise and we'll put postings about lost pets and stuff. So just go to Facebook, and you might just type in lost pets in your city or lost pets in your zip code and see if you can find Facebook groups where you can post for that, okay? Where you could post a picture of your cat and say, my cat is lost, and give your contact information, or people can just message you on Facebook if they've seen your cat. You can also check for Craigslist. Again, check Craigslist to see if anybody put up an ad that they found your cat, and then also place an ad on Craigslist, which is free, to put a posting on Craigslist for the fact that your cat has been lost. the next and last tip is to sprinkle flour to obtain footprints. It sounds kind of silly, but when you think about it, it could actually be quite helpful. Frightened cats will not come when they're called. Okay, so try sprinkling flour around areas where the cat might be, and then look for paw prints and follow them. Okay, like if your cat is lost and they're scared or whatever, maybe it's the first time your cat's ever gotten out. Maybe they're young, and you put, say, their food dish on your front porch. Maybe they'll come at night when nobody's around and eat that food, but they might be, they might be kind of in hiding during daylight. Put some flour around there and see if you can track where the cat is, right? Now, these days it is common to put a tag or a microchip on your cat to increase the chances of recovery if they get lost. A microchip, if you don't know, it's an identification device that's inserted beneath your cat's skin. Humane societies and agencies have scanners to read the chip. I do highly recommend their use. Your vet can do this, and from what I understand, I haven't done it myself, but from what I understand, it is quite easy and quite painless for the cat, and fairly inexpensive as well. So then, like, if somebody dropped your cat off at the local SPCA, the first thing those places will do is check to see if the animal has a microchip. And if, obviously that's a very quick solution. Now, I did read something, and don't quote me because I don't know if I'm correct, but I want to say that studies have shown that pets who have a microchip have like a 50% better chance of being returned home if they get lost. So I'm just saying, in the future, you may want to do that. Also, there's a website called pettags.com, and they have super inexpensive little pet tags that, like, if your cat has a collar, you can put a little tag on there with your name and cell phone, or the cat's name and your cell phone, and that way if your cat gets lost, if somebody can get a hold of the cat, your phone number is on their collar. Also, if you're going to put a collar on your cat, make sure it's a breakaway collar. Just go on Amazon and look, you'll see them, because you don't want the cat to get caught on something and choke because they're wearing a collar. They make breakaway collars for cats. Now, couple things. First of all, I'm going to give you a link in the description box for one of Jackson Galaxy's videos about preventing your cat from getting lost, and also how to deal with it if your cat is lost. If you don't know about him, he is the cat expert from Animal Planet. And I'm going to go ahead and give you a link to his video, because he goes into a lot more detail on preventing this from happening than I've done here in this article. Now, one thing I do want to give you is I'm going to be linking in the description box my video called How to Keep Indoor Cats Happy. Okay, if you have an indoor cat and they've gotten out, obviously, because you're here on YouTube looking for this sort of help, but once you get them back in, read the article, watch the video, How to Keep Indoor Cats Happy, and that will help you to greatly reduce the chances of your cat still trying to get out all the time. Okay? Now, try to stay positive. I know it can be difficult and painful when you've lost a pet, but try to stay positive. Sometimes cats run away and stay away for weeks, and then they come home, okay? I have friends whose cat ran away and went to live with a neighbor down the street. They searched for months. They were driving around the neighborhood. The kids were crying, all this stuff. And then one day the guy was driving to work, and there sits the cat in the picture window of a neighbor's house. The cat simply just went and lived somewhere else. Now, I don't know whether that neighbor stole the cat, but what I'm saying is, there's the cat. He's simply living down the street. Other times, if a cat is lost and if they don't have a collar, someone might take them in, and that might have been what happened with my friend's cat. I know it's painful not to have your cat at home with you, but realize that if your cat is lost, they could very well have been taken in by somebody, and they could be living a great life. They could have a family who loves them, they could have treats, and they could be spoiled. I'm just saying, try to stay positive. Don't just assume that because your cat never came home that something terrible happened to the cat. Obviously, that's possible. But, it's also, I personally think, more likely that one of these things happen, that the cat has just gone. He's gone for weeks. Maybe he'll come back. Maybe he won't. Maybe somebody took him in. Maybe he just preferred to go into somebody else's house and he liked it there and he stayed. just try to be positive about it. Also know that some cats just refuse to be indoor cats. If they run away, they may stay away. They might be exercising their right to be an outdoor cat. And again, if that's the case, if your cat does return, you may want to watch my video, How to Keep Indoor Cats Happy, so that you can at least try to make your cat happy indoors so that they don't feel like they need to be outside, okay? Now, do remember, we all have a journey, and that's true for our pets as well. So please know that no matter what happens, you will see your cat again. And even if it's not until you're both safely in heaven. I know that's really hard for you to think about right now when your cat is lost, but in the big scheme of things, we have to remind ourselves that all is well, okay, no matter what happens to us here on earth, okay? But try to stay positive and use these tips. And like I say, lots of cats run away, and they can be gone for weeks before they come back. Get your neighbors involved. Let everybody know that the cat is missing, and give your cat an opportunity to come back. If you live in nice weather, leave the back door open if that's where they ran out, and try to have faith, okay? So I do really hope that today's video has been helpful. I would love it so much if you would come back to this video and comment. If your cat is lost, and if you do in fact find your cat, please come and comment on this video, because it will give other people some comfort and some hope, all right? If your cat comes back, come back here and report, so people can look in the comments as they're watching this video in the future and maybe have some hope, okay, because your cat came back. And also, if you have any other ideas on how to find your cat, or if you did something and it resulted in your finding your cat again, please help other cat owners by coming back to the video and putting that in the comment section. So again, thank you so much for watching. Please go ahead and give the video a like if this was helpful. Please go ahead and subscribe. Again, my name is Deborah, and my website is peoplelovinganimals.com. Thanks again. Bye-bye.